Here's the rewritten story, maintaining the original plot and context, using American English, aiming for a compelling narrative with a clear resolution, and highlighting the changes made. Detective Ethan Walker had always thought he was untouchable. A veteran officer with years on the force, he knew how to twist the truth in his favor. But this time, he had gone too far. It started with a routine traffic stop. Jamal Davis, a college-bound teenager, was driving home after picking up groceries for his grandmother. Walker pulled him over, claiming he had run a stop sign. Jamal, confused, politely asked what he had done wrong. Walker's response was swift and brutal. He yanked Jamal from the car, slammed him onto the pavement, and placed his knee on the boy's back. "You think you can talk back to me?" Walker hissed. "You people never learn." Jamal gasped for breath, panic setting in. He could hear the blood rushing in his ears. "Please, I didn't do anything." The worst part? Walker planted a small bag of drugs in the back seat before calling for backup. He thought it was a done deal, another easy arrest, another promotion. But what he didn't know was that a passing driver had recorded everything on their dashcam. The camera caught every brutal moment, every lie, every abuse of power. And soon, the world would see it all. Jamal's mother, Naomi Davis, was at the police station within the hour. She had raised her son to be respectful, hardworking, and law-abiding. The idea that he was caught with drugs was laughable. "Officer, my son doesn't do drugs," she said firmly, her voice laced with anger. "That's what every mother says," Walker replied smugly, arms crossed. Naomi's hands trembled, not with fear, but with fury. "Then let's see the body cam footage." Walker smirked. "My camera battery died." Jamal sat in the holding cell, staring at the cracked ceiling. His wrists ached from the too tight cuffs, and the bruises on his arms were beginning to swell. He replayed the moment over and over in his mind, wondering how things had gone so wrong. His dreams of college, his mother's proud smile, all felt so distant now. Then a new voice cut through the tension in the station. "I have footage." The room turned as an older man stepped forward. Arthur Jenkins, a retired school principal. He placed a USB drive on the counter. "I saw what happened, and so did my dashcam." For the first time, Walker's confidence wavered. The station fell silent. Other officers looked on, their expressions unreadable. One younger officer, clearly uneasy, shifted in his seat. It was one thing to back up a fellow cop, but it was another to ignore undeniable evidence. The weight of justice was beginning to shift. The courtroom was packed. Jamal sat beside his lawyer, head held high. Across from him, Walker sat stiffly, sweat forming at his temples. The case had gained national attention, and reporters lined the back of the room. The prosecutor wasted no time. "Officer Walker, did you have probable cause to search Jamal Davis's vehicle?" Walker cleared his throat. "Yes, the suspect was behaving erratically." The prosecutor raised an eyebrow. "Erratically? Or did he simply question you?" Walker shifted in his seat. He was uncooperative. The prosecutor smirked. "Let's see the footage." The video played for the jury. The courtroom watched as Walker dragged Jamal out of his car, his words dripping with malice. The moment where he slipped the bag into the car was crystal clear. Gasps filled the room. The judge's jaw tightened. Jamal's mother closed her eyes, her fists clenched in silent prayer. Walker's lawyer rushed to object, but it was too late. The truth was out. Jamal clenched his fists. He wanted to scream, to cry, to demand answers, but instead, he kept his composure. His mother squeezed his hand, whispering, "Justice will come." Judge Eleanor Thompson sighed heavily, looking straight at Walker. "You were supposed to protect and serve, not manipulate and destroy," she said. "Not only did you assault an innocent young man, but you falsified evidence to ruin his future. This is beyond disgraceful." Walker shifted in his seat, his mouth dry. The judge's voice was unwavering. "How many others have suffered because of your lies, Officer Walker?" He opened his mouth, but no words came out. He had nothing to say, nothing to justify what he had done. "You are hereby convicted of police misconduct, tampering with evidence, and perjury," the judge declared. "Your sentence will be 10 years in prison with no possibility of early release." Silence filled the room for a moment before applause erupted. Reporters scrambled to take notes. Activists cheered. Justice had finally prevailed. Naomi clutched Jamal's hand, tears of relief spilling down her cheeks. Walker, once so smug, now sat frozen, his face pale as officers approached him. He muttered, "This isn't fair." One of the younger officers, the same one who had looked uneasy in the station, leaned down and whispered, "Fair? You wouldn't know fair if it slapped you in the face." Walker was led away, his hands now in cuffs, the very ones he had used to shackle Jamal. And for the first time in his life, he felt powerless. For the first time, the system had worked the way it should.